Yo, what up, guys? This is another episode. I'm going to be going on this camera because I forgot to charge one of my better quality cameras. I use those a lot for a lot of my different side hustles. So it happens. Made a mistake, but I still want to get this episode out because I want to talk about this as soon as possible now that I finally got around to doing it. Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. And first off, I do want to say one thing. I think it's criminal that Sean Strickland is not getting the immediate title shot. Now, I know Sean Strickland's very polarizing. He says a lot of controversial stuff. And in this political climate, people love that. I'm saying by a fighter's basis what these fighters have earned in the octagon. Let's take all politics out of it. Now, I do think that Dricus won that fight very narrowly, but I do see a lot of argument as to why Sean Strickland, beat Dricus du Plessis, and he should still be the champion of the middleweight division. And I get it. They're pushing Dricus versus Adesanya for marketing purposes, and I really think Adesanya should even be put in a spot where he needs to earn his spot back because he basically gave up for like a year after Sean Strickland whooped him, and now he wants to come back after he was talking about leaving for 7 years. So, look, I know that Adesanya is a star, but he has earned a lot of the criticisms that has come his way with the dog stuff and all that stuff. Sean Strickland really played the mind games really well on that, and the fan base that used to love him has kind of basically turned on him. I really think that after he knocked out Pereira, he came back and flew a little too close to the sun. One, that octagon confrontation with Dricus was cringeworthy, and I think Dricus actually handled that the best way possible. And then two, all the stuff that came out about him. And then the fact that after he lost to Sean Strickland, he was about to quit for a while. Now he wants to come back. I think that that's ludicrous. I think Sean Strickland has more than earned an immediate title shot. And having said that, though, going against Costa, he should win this fight. But if he doesn't, he's going to lose just about any chance to ever get a title shot again. Because I feel like, the UFC is going to start to, gave him his era, and it was very short lived. And now it's almost like he's fighting with the UFC at this point. When you fight with the hand that feeds, they're just going to knock you further down. So now Sean Strickland has to win every fight. It's going to be like a Tony Ferguson situation where if he wins one fight, his win streak's not going to count for nothing. And I think that honestly, whether you agree with Sean Strickland on what he says or not, whatever your political views, I feel like he has more than earned his top status in the UFC. And the fact that they're just kind of taking it from him, I don't even think it's politically driven. I think it's the fact that he doesn't really quite fall in line all too much, and he might, he's a bit of his own person. And, whether I agree with him or not, I respect the heck out of that. Okay? So, even if he loses to Costa, right, that's going to be really bad. And I'm saying Costa does have a chance to win. He did land a really good kick against Robert Whittaker and had moments in the fight, and I did feel like that decision itself was a toss-up. But to be fair, it's hard to call because Robert Whittaker, again, I feel like he's starting to lose his step ever so slightly. I don't think he's the same guy. I think he's had his 3-year period where he was just absolutely keeping people away from that number one contender spot. And obviously he got the Adesanya shot eventually, but he worked and never complained and kept shooting down number one contender after number one contender to get that title shot. And then even then, he just kept working. Sure, Dricus dismantled him and just put on a really good performance against him. I'm starting to see areas where now his prime is going to start slipping away. Is it going to be a dramatic downfall like Tony Ferguson? Depends on how much damage he takes. Now, do I think he's going to lose to Khamzat Chimaev? I think there's a good shot just because I'm starting to see him lose a skip in his step. If he was in his prime, I would say it would be a very questionable fight, but I really do think Khamzat has a really good shot of winning just because I'm starting to see Robert Whittaker start to just kind of go down that hole. Now, even though he won against Costa, I still am starting to see a little bit of a decline on him. He could still win against Khamzat. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just putting in the factor that I do feel like eventually Robert Whittaker is going to be getting older, and that's that. It's unfortunate, and that's where things go. I'm also staying hydrated. But there's a lot of factors at middleweight right now where I feel like this fight, of course, is going to be entertaining, and I do want to see Sean Strickland back in that octagon. I think he's a great addition to the middleweight division. The absolute demolishment of Adesanya, but it's just with all the factors going in, I can't quite put away on how this fight's going to go, and I think it's honestly, personally, I think like he should get an immediate title shot before anything else. I really think that he shouldn't be forced to roll the dice to begin with all these variables going on. Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa, Hamza Chimaev coming up. Joe Pyfer could possibly come back and get a really good victory. He's got potential too. Middleweight is starting to change its realm, and it's just kind of sad because you know how fast this sport moves. And the fast moving of this sport, just like back in the day when Tony Ferguson was supposed to be the guy that fought Khabib, and he finally lost to Justin Gaethje because the wave had finally caught up with him. And I think that's like the thing is now you get a little phobia is what if he loses that shot that he has very well earned his way. So yeah, I'm a little peeved about this matchup, but I am still looking forward to this fight in a little bit of a way. But I really will be in Sean Strickland's corner, and I want to see him get a very decisive win, probably even a finish, because I want him to go to the UFC and say, you have no choice but to give me another shot at the belt that I have earned and the belt that you have probably even taken from me, because there is a very big argument as to why Sean Strickland won that fight, and I am very pro Strickland in this realm. Okay, sorry about that. I'm getting passionate here. And that's when I got to start turning off the cameras. So, if anyone agrees with me that Sean Strickland should be getting an immediate title shot, anything else is unacceptable, let us know. I mean, I think that is a very foregone conclusion, but that's what I got to say about it. That's what I got to say about the middleweight division. It's changing. It's getting dicey. Every fight that's going to go into that octagon is going to count for something, and we're going to see a saga of change at 185 very soon. And I just really hope that Sean Strickland comes out on the right end of it. And yeah, no, he deserves better. Peace out.